Hello, I'm Wallace Allen. This is Empire Talks Back. We're on the case for truth and justice with the right information to help improve the situation. Sometimes to improve the situation, one needs a fighting chance. Well, I'm going to introduce you to Project Fighting Chance and its heroes of the day, Mr. Ian Franklin and Mr. Terry Porter. We'll be right back.
I would describe San Bernardino as a very challenged community. Economically, there's a lot of negativity that surround the youth, gang violence, murders.
3 fighters.
Pop, I need you to snap it out there.
1 trainer.
I think the city needs someone to come in and kick butt and take names.
And a city looking for heroes.
It has to be a conscious effort that says, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, city by city, that everybody there is worth saving.
If the young people from Project Fighting Chance come back with a gold, bronze, silver medal, I think it would be a cool thing because just again, you know, the name, a fighting chance, it just, by the nature of where San Bernardino is and where it's going, is just an example of what can be done.
I feel like I'm gonna come on to represent SB Strong. My feelings are like, they're great. They're like I can't even explain. That's how great it is.
Hopefuls. Only on the Empire Network, PBS.
Project Fighting Chance. Now that is a statement that sets up a lot of imaginary things that could be going on. Well, let's imagine that there are people who are not access all of the resources, that there are people who are disappointed in life, uninspired, and never pushing to be aspirational until a young man comes along and tells them that they do have a chance in this world, that there are things that they can do to separate themselves from those who can't and don't, to those who will and do. And I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Ian Franklin, the co-founder of Project Fighting Chance.
Thank you.
Founder or co-founder?
I'm the founder.
Very good. See, Ian, how you doing?
All right.
Good. Step on up to the table here. Tell us a little bit about your Fighting Chance project, and let's quickly introduce your associate there, Mr. Terry Boykins.
Okay. So this is Terry Boykins. He's our business development and the VP on our board. Project Fighting Chance has been a long, almost a 20-year journey. It began as a little boxing program in a garage, just trying to help my son, and transcended into a ministry at Ecclesia Christian Fellowship. The name of our boxing program is called FIGHTS. FIGHTS is an acronym for Faith in God Heals Troubled Souls. We use FIGHTS.
When you started that, I was really, as a wordologist, I was really impressed with that acronym. Yeah. And not just because it was an acronym, but because it really described what you guys were doing.
Well, I look at, I'm into fitness and, I'm a personal trainer as well, but I look at total wellness as a triangle, and spiritual is the top, mental and physical. And if you have all 4 of those corners covered, you're totally well. So we're trying to help some kids get totally well as inspire them to do what they're capable of. We want kids to reach their full potential.
So as you started this program, FIGHTS, based on your own son's interest in the game, in the sport, what caused it to expand? What made you reach further than just your son?
Well, I'm a spiritual man. God made it clear to me that this was my purpose in life after everything I went through as a youngster, going through some dark areas and down some dark paths. He made it clear. So the success. My son, who was very small for his age, and we started this just to help him get some self-esteem, he ends up making the Olympic team as an alternate for the 08 team that went to Beijing. We followed that at the next Olympic trials with
Well, let me stop and do what everybody out there is doing and clap a little bit, because that's quite an accomplishment. Very much an accomplishment. A big accomplishment that shines a light not just on you and your son and your program, but on the Inland Empire, Southern California. What have we done to thank you? Not enough. I can tell. I can tell because your
I'm
answer.
trying to-
You know, so hopefully what we're doing today.
I have my hand out.
And understanding that you've just had some great exposure on KVCR TV with a documentary about your program.
Yes.
That we are getting to shine some light on that, which of course is going to demand that you be able to answer the question. So what are you going to do now, right? We won't ask that question yet. Let's keep on talking a little bit more about the things that have worked successfully for the program and has brought other great light and reputation to the Inland Empire as a result.
Well, our boxing program gets a lot of recognition. We have one of the strongest teams we've ever had right now. As I've told you, I've been to the Olympic trials twice. Prior to this group of kids, I had 6 national champions. We currently have 5 national champions in the gym right now here today.
All of them champions right now.
We went to the
Not over the last 6-year period. Right now.
We went to the last 2 national tournaments, U.S. national tournaments, and in both tournaments, 4 of our kids fought to the gold medal round. And then we came from both of those tournaments with 2 golds and 2 silvers. We have a bunch of kids that are doing phenomenal. And, you know, the one thing that I will say is our program as a whole, boxing gets a lot of recognition, but we do a lot of other things. And
we'll get a chance to talk about some of those other things. With the championships that you've won and brought back to the city, the area, and with the championships that you are about to win, we're poised to win. When are the next championships?
Well, we go to Reno. This year, we go to Reno to the what we call the Western qualifiers.
Okay.
Then we go to the Junior Olympic Nationals in Madison, Wisconsin in June. And then October, we go to the Eastern qualifiers in Columbus, Ohio. And then we go to the final, we call it the granddaddy of them all, it's the U.S. Championships in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
So with each boxer that goes, what's the support team that goes with them? If we have 5 champions now, okay, and we're probably have 5 champions as we look at the finals. So how many people do we need to send to support them?
Well, we send myself and another coach and father of 3 of the guys. There's 3 brothers.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the Harris brothers. They're currently living in Rialto.
Okay, excellent. How you guys doing? I'm glad to see you. Harris brothers right here in Rialto.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have to ask you to bring those guys in here so we can salute them. We will schedule that. That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's good news. How old are these young men?
You have Lolo is 15, Isaiah's 12. No, Isaiah's 12, and Ruffin's 11.
Okay, so we have representatives of our middle school and high school.
Yeah, 2 of them go to Kolb, and 1 goes to Eisenhower.
Excellent. All right, yeah, so see, we're growing these homegrown champions. That's what I'm talking about. This is big news, big news. Okay, how do more people get involved in supporting this trip? Because we're talking about 4 trips out of town, 3 of them across country. That's not cheap. So when you win the championship, does somebody come down and give you guys the money to fly and be at the next deal?
Well, I can.
Do the promoters send for you guys?
Not at all.
Send limos by the house and pick you up? And
Not at all.
not at all.
But I
So
can't.
who pays for this?
We do. We do some fundraising. We started our Jabathon in December, and this is going to be our baby. And Terry he's the one who's created this thing. But we're on Facebook Live like a telethon all day long from 7 to 7. We did one in the spring. We did one in the winter.
A Jabathon.
Jabathon.
What is a Jabathon, Terry? Talk to us.
What a Jabathon is, I tell you, that is where we take all the young people from around the Inland Empire and open the gym for them to come in and deal with some of the things what Ian was talking about. We do more than just boxing. We deal with aggression diversion. We deal with children that have been assaulted. We deal with children that have adverse childhood experiences coming from domestic violence household. We deal with some angry kids. We deal with some hurt kids. And so because of Ian's accomplishments in boxing and knowing how to make a champion, this is about building resilience. It's about opening that door, that championship arena, and letting those kids come in and connect with coaches and individuals that care for 12 hours. They could be getting bullied at school. They got an outlet. They could be a survivor of a childhood offense. They can come in there and unload some of that hurt. They can be in a household that is constantly fighting and bickering, and the child can't escape, but they can come to Project Fighting Chance during the Jabathon, and they can get a chance to be around some people that can really help them and really hold on to what they're dealing with, even if it's somebody just holding the bag while they just unloading. And so this is the kind of things that we're doing. And we have people that put pledges on, like you said, we go Facebook Live.
Yeah, I'm asking, that's good therapy.
Yeah.
And it needs to be heard that we're doing that and making that accessible. And I don't know if it has to be a Jabathon all the time for those kids to access that resource, but how do we make money for you in doing that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what the pledges, and we want people to go to projectfightingchance.org.
Before, once you find something out, the truth of it and all of the parameters of it,
Yeah.
all your vision for extra stuff goes away.
Absolutely.
So let me tell you before you tell me
Yes.
what I thought a Jabathon was.
Okay.
I thought you got a bunch of old men like me in
Ah.
there, and you charged us per jab.
Yeah,
Knowing that the last, if we said we were going to do 50 jabs, we probably could get 38, 39 out, and then maybe we'd have to hire somebody to do the rest of them for us. I don't know. But I'm just.
Well, no, we're not gonna tell you we can do that, so we can get a bunch of older, seasoned fighters to come in there and make a contribution to hitting the bag. But what we do, we get individuals to pledge an hour support. So whether they pledge $5 an
somebody
hour,
in there to revive us.
Yeah,
the
we
bag
would.
probably
We
hit
would.
us harder than we hit the
yeah,
bag.
we won't want y'all passing out. We don't want y'all doing that. But we actually have up to $15 an hour. Individuals that can pledge $15 an hour for 12 hours. We have a scale that you can go online to the website and you can actually pledge the dollar amount per hour that you see value in our program. And so being able to raise money for an organization that it costs almost $60,000 a year to run what you're talking about.
And that's not expensive in terms of what we see money spent on in other places.
Not at
for
all.
Much less of a community impact.
Well,
So the amount of money, the specific that you guys are looking for this championship run.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I'd like to see us with a figure, because every time we do our TV show and our radio show from now on, we'd like to send people toward that
Sure.
that position so we can move the needle, because we all are going to be prideful when you come back with the championship. Everybody's going to stand around and try to jump on our bandwagon, but we have room for you. We're not going to be mad at that point, but we want to be sure that we get the bandwagon back here in good bragging shape. Does that make sense? We're going to take a break. We come back right after this short break, and we're going to talk more about the Fighting Chance Project, some of the other activities that you do that people can get involved in. But I want us to keep focusing on the fact that we have a public relations program called Project Fighting Chance. It's bringing a brilliant light to the Inland Empire, and we need to support it. We'll be back right after this break.
I would describe San Bernardino as a very challenged community economically. There's a lot of negativity that surround the youth.
When faced with
Gang violence, murders.
there is only one way out.
Ian feels that he may not be a perfect person. Everyone goes through their challenges in life. It's just depending on how you learn from those challenges. Obstacles come to make you learn and grow and be better.
The good Lord has given me the ability to teach this well.
We're on track to send guys to the next Olympics coming up.
Now these guys are at a level where I do have expectations.
But the kids know that that's what's required of them. And we were required because we love them.
I believe sometimes your environment can create strength. It's a story of overcoming obstacles. To have some kids come from an environment to still shoot for a goal and reach it. So I think we've only scratched the surface on what these kids are going to do.
Hopefuls. Only on the Empire Network, PBS.
Welcome back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. My guests today, Mr. Terry Boykins and Mr. Ian Franklin of the Project Fighting Chance. These young men are the sponsors, the coaches, the business manager, our representatives to our kids. You're touching specifically young people who could be doing many other things, as the old folks say, devilment. The things that young people do when they don't have guidance, when they don't have discipline, when they don't have opportunity and resources to back that up. So you guys are doing that. How many young people are involved, well, and how many not so young people are involved in Project Fighting Chance?
We have hundreds of kids, but we average about 60 a day.
About 60 a day?
Yeah.
And that's usually, how many of those are your general repeaters every day? 50 of those, or?
I would say about 40.
Okay.
We have a good
solid core.
Yeah, because what we have is from 3 to 5 is our beginning boxing program. My son is a coach.
Yes.
We have another guy who's our program coordinator. He coaches, and then the elite amateurs come in from 5 to 7. That's my travel team. And then so the activities.
How many guys on the travel team?
Right now, 6.
Okay, how many weight classes do you cover there?
6. They're all in different.
They're all in different weight classes.
Because it's in 5-pound increments as youth.
So in general, a general boxing match that's not a tournament, what does that consist of? How do you put those together? Who do you guys box? Is there a chance that we could come see a match?
Well, what happens is there's sanctions given out at the end of the year, and clubs wait after the state silver gloves to put in their sanction requests. You get a day. Once you have that sanction, you pay your fees. The club has registration fees as well, and then you have the officials and everybody come in. You also have to have a doctor and a EMT there on hand.
So are you attempting to be sanctioned for the coming year? To put on a boxing show?
I didn't, but sometimes you can call and see, hey, is there anybody backing out? Because I didn't think ahead to get one because I didn't have the facility at the time. The time to really spark this is close to the end of the year, and then I'll go to the sanctioning event and I'll put in a couple of requests to get 2 dates or 1 date or whatever. But anytime there's an idea, I can call the president of RLBC and say, hey, is there an availability or a good slot that I can get, and find out.
As far as your boxing team, your traveling team, what's the future hold for them? Are they looking forward to a match coming up soon, or is Reno the first thing that we're looking forward to?
These guys only do tournaments, and so they're nationally ranked. I have 2 kids, #1 in the United States. So we're waiting for Reno to the qualifier, and we're just training. I take them all over to spar. They're 5 days a week in the gym. One of our kids who everybody, once they meet him, they are drawn to him. We call him Terrible Terry. And we met him on a very
I thought that was you.
Yeah, no, that was not.
That's Terrible Terry.
That's Terry.
One. But I tell the story in our docu-series that we have about how I met him. And he was in one of the most notorious areas. He was 9 years old at the time, and he had his hat sideways, and he had this little raspy voice. And I'll never forget the first thing I asked him, because somehow I was just drawn to this little kid, so I started talking to him. And I asked him, "Have you ever boxed?" He said, "No, but I can fight."
Okay.
He just won his 3rd consecutive national title.
Amazing. And he's how old? That's the 15-year-old?
No, he's 14.
14.
And unfortunately, yesterday, there was a car-to-car shooting in Rialto.
Yes.
and one of his friends, since he was in second grade, was killed. And you know, this is why we do what we do.
This is how close that comes to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that it happened to who it happened to. I would have probably been a bit more sorry because of the story if you had told me that was Terry.
Yeah.
But I'm just as sorry for the family who lost.
Of course,
that,
of course.
young
It's
man
unfortunate,
yesterday.
but this is the nature of the beast. This is the nature of where we're at and what goes on. You know, we want it to be the exception and not the rule.
Well, you know, that is almost a mantra for every city in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we all are losing children either to violence of that sort, of the violence of neglect. All of those things, as Terry so well puts, as he discusses the plight of our children and the plight of society as a result of how we treat our children. Once again, it's a blessing to have you and your program. What are some of the other things and some of the other projects that you guys are involved in?
Okay.
And we haven't yet had a chance to speak about your documentary.
Yeah, that was a blessing. We have one of our board members who's, you know, very tied up into the media, convinced PBS and KVCR that we had a good project. They came in, bought into this would be a great story to tell, and told a story of us throughout the year. It started in 2017 and ended the beginning of 2018. And it's just 4 episodes of in-depth, even some of my, I go in, I got a little transparent, which is hard for me. I got vulnerable, and you know, people that really know me know that's tough. But what I wanted to do is use that platform to tell my story and talk about the deficiencies that affected my character that allowed me to go down some troubling times in my life. And they did a phenomenal job. They did a really, really good job. I advise anybody that hasn't seen Hopefuls, you can go on YouTube. All 4 episodes of season 1 are there, and we're hopefully in discussions to do season 2.
Excellent.
We'll give a shout out to Roy Gandy.
Rory Gandy is
one that
the one that put this together, and he's the one talking about how they're going to pull off season 2 right now.
Yeah.
And I know the language. It has been submitted for Emmy consideration.
Right.
Excellent, excellent. Congratulations on
thank
that.
you.
Congratulations. And you too, Terry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir. Now, Terry, your role with Project Fighting Chance. I know you as a person with vision, a person who accesses resources, a person who knows how to talk to folk who have resources and help them understand the importance of sharing. What are you working on? What are your expectations here with Fighting Chance?
Well, you know, Ian has done an incredible job with passion of getting this to this level. It has grown to a bigger level. And in order for him to get his dream, his vision materialized, he's got to, as we had these conversations, you got to think differently now. Being a champion, you have to think differently now. And so that means bringing in resources, and it means bringing in constructs, and it means bringing in measurables, and it means bringing in opportunities that people can really be a part of it. It's not just him anymore. It's gotten bigger than that. You know, it's not in the garage anymore.
Right.
And so being able to really map the assets of Project Fighting Chance, being able to really present the value of Project Fighting Chance, not only to the community, but those that want to get behind and support and invest in it, it takes a different lens. And his lens is focusing on developing champions that can represent this area. And he's done that very well.
So what we're looking at is you've kind of acknowledged the split personality that's necessary in having done what you've done, and you kind of letting Terry pick up that element of personality that has to reach out, allowing you to focus more on the development
I'm
of the
very
kids.
moldable and shapeable.
Yeah.
Because it's a learned behavior for me.
Very good. Very good. So you are willing to not step aside, but share that responsibility.
Most definitely,
Yeah.
for the good of the common cause.
Very good. And in case you didn't know it, I think you made a good choice there in terms of somebody who can be helpful.
We go around in Gabathon, so anybody wants to see us, battling out. We get twice a year. We get a chance to battle with each other publicly.
Terry beats me up.
No, I don't know about
what does that
No.
mean?
We go round and round for the Jabathon. So you got to tune into the Jabathon.
No, wait a minute. No, don't
I'm
you say
gonna tell you.
round and round. You guys playing dominoes?
Oh.
You playing ping pong? Are you know
It's
like
a chess game.
In the when we were growing up in school, we used to play chess, not CHESS,
Right.
but
Chess.
CHEST.
Right.
You know, and usually that meant we would walk through the halls and sneak up on each other and explore the other person's chest
Right.
with our knuckles. I know that's not what you guys are doing.
Well, no.
No, let me
Maybe we
explain.
can really get this
go.
fundraiser thing kicking.
Absolutely.
Every I would say about 50 minutes we pop on live on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he'll start off and then I'll chime in and sometimes we'll have a special guest like we had Daryl Thomas from the LA Dodgers.
Okay.
Good friend of mine. And
So you're not challenging each other to push-ups or who
No.
could take a punch to the jaw or stuff like
No,
that.
man, look at him, man. I mean, like, you know, he stay ready. You know,
Well,
I
I
just teach
mean,
people
but I'm
how to
ready
do
too.
it.
But he stay ready. No,
I just teach people how to do it.
right.
But what we're doing is engaging the community
Right.
to tune in. Here we come again, and he added some humor. We talked about our
Right.
Guitars Not Guns program,
Right.
and we had the ladies playing. We have, because some of the other things we do, I just want to shed a light and make it plain because a lot of people don't know because they focus so much because of the recognition
Well,
of
you
our
know, if we had
athletes.
LeBron here, we would ask him about basketball.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so you're 5-time champions boxing, so you know but yes, please share.
We feed the kids. When they come in, they get a snack and they get a supper before they leave. They eat. We have a Guitars Not Guns program where there's guitar lessons once a week. We have tutoring. We have computer learning. They can check out, if they do their homework on computer, they can check out a computer. And we have 6 students from Valley College that come every day and volunteer their time to mentor, to tutor. We have an art class.
You know what else we have?
And we have a chess club.
You know what else we have?
What's that?
The fastest half hour on record. And we've just completed it. And so we are going to have to ask you guys to come back.
Absolutely.
You'll come back with your champions. You'll come back and be able to explain more about the program.
Sure.
We'll come back. We'll talk about the Jabathon. We're going
Absolutely.
to explain to people more about what they can do to get involved in being able to actually claim having pushed at the beginning this cart, this movement, not just hopping on the bandwagon. Nothing wrong with the bandwagon, but we got something else you can do. Guys, I appreciate you coming in.
Thank
I
you,
want to
Wallace.
thank
Thank
you
you.
for your passion.
Absolutely. Appreciate it
Thank you
always.
for your service.
Always.
Just thank
Appreciate you.
God bless you.
God bless
My
you.
brothers.
Thank you.
Okay, there it is. Fighting Chance. We all need one. We need your support in providing one. We'll talk to you more about that. Meanwhile, have a great life, do the right thing, and we'll see you next week.